On behalf of BlackBerry and Carahsoft, we would like to welcome you to today's podcast, focused around new cybersecurity for federal agencies, where Roger Sells, Vice President of Cybersecurity Solutions at BlackBerry, will discuss new ways agencies can drive outcomes and increase security posture with measurable results.
Let's start exploring why I say there is a lot of chaos that's impacting our business outcomes and what does that really mean for you and your agencies. We're seeing an acceleration of attacks, and on the back of COVID, where we had more and more interconnectivity between our entities, we had to think on our feet to be able to serve our constituents. We had to adapt our ways of not only working, but also living. And that, of course, came with an increase in the attack surface. And our adversaries have really benefited from this situation and taken advantage because they've been waiting for a unique opportunity like this to strike. And that's one of the reasons that we're seeing an acceleration in breach headlines. A second reason that I'd like to come to is that we are also, I think, skewed towards reporting on these breaches. And they are newsworthy. They get picked up globally. People spend a lot of time and attention on them. I personally feel that we are at a stage where we can't learn that much from these headlines because we are not receiving the lessons learned from most breach organizations. Even if you see that an organization has been breached, there's very little information around failures of technical controls, management controls that help you improve the situation. So this is a factor in why we're also seeing more of these headlines. Is just that, well, they generate clicks and people talk about them. But I think for us as a security community, it's not helping too much. So I think the answers have come in. Meanwhile, Joe?
Yep, all wrapped up.
Perfect. Can you share what has gotten the most votes? There we go. So most people seem to believe that we have very low numbers of solutions being used. So I said, okay, there's a lot of chaos, and this chaos, you can see it across a number of dimensions. There's first and foremost just chaos stemming from the fact that more and more organizations, as well as nation states, are investing in offensive security capabilities. A couple of months ago, I read a report where the NSA was indicating that every country on earth now today is operating an offensive security arm or operation. So that's obviously going to bleed over into the commercial space, but as well in the agency space. The second element there is that, and this is something that we've highlighted in our recently released threat report, is that we are still seeing a continuation of, let's say, ransomware as a service, as an ecosystem accelerating. So we have more and more crime groups that are now diversifying into cybersecurity. In many ways, they're operating a bit like classic VCs that have heard that their friends that have invested in cybersecurity have had great returns. Well, the same holds true for these cyber criminals.